here just a few shots of this U.S. operation. You could see the reactor. It was in Hanford. They ran it from 44 to 68. So and 68 was the time when there are other reactors, K reactors. There was a bunch of them, but this is they made it a museum. Why I said green? Because everything was gray when we were in the building. It's so almost depressing. You see huge installations. Everything is painted in gray. I don't know if they want to impress people. During the production development, it was the brightest minds were working on this issue, because it was a question of life and death in a sense. But when you look at it, you feel kind of down. Couple of words about the technology. At this point, we have in the world two main types of nuclear reactors, which are used for producing electricity. It's a pressurized water reactor and boiling water reactor. They are fairly similar, but the difference is that in one reactor we have an extra loop which allows hot water from the vessel go into steam generators, produce steam, and the steam goes into turbine, and the turbine is spinning generator. That's basically the loop. What the reactor is. You produce steam. Steam goes into the turbine. Steam turbine that spins the generator, and you have electricity. Here, it's just the same schematic. It shows you what I was talking about. And what is curious is that when you compare conventional reactor based on coal or oil, you see that the only difference between nuclear reactor and fossil reactor is that it just source of heat. Once you produce heat, from then on, everything down the line is ready. Of course, here I just show a vessel of a reactor, and the reactor is filled with bundles of rods containing nuclear fuel. Here somebody, the rabbi wanted to see the bombs. This is the stuff on the top. A few pictures show. I was in the museum in one of the places, and they showed us the bombs. So we have you see, like very cheerful picture, like a little blue bomb. It's nice. They have rockets. These two are rockets. And what is interesting is this is a biggest nuclear bomb. It's a thermonuclear bomb. It was designed to have about 60 megatons of power. 60 megatons. At that time, it's a Russian bomb. They tested it. At that time, testing in atmosphere was fine. It was okay. So they blew it. Of course, they created a parachute which could hold this huge metal thing for enough time for the pilots to turn around and then go away from the exploder. Because everything was calculated to a millisecond. When it blew up, the shock wave from this explosion went 3 times around the globe. So it was mind-boggling. So the effect of a nuclear weapon like this would be global. It's not just destroying a city. You sense results everywhere. Edward Teller, if you remember, he was the father of U.S. thermonuclear bomb. There was a famous picture with Taylor standing here and having his hand on the bomb, saying, "So I know what it is." So when I was in the museum, I said, "Hey, can I make a picture of myself?" And they, "Wow, people like, they say, well, this is a political statement. I said, okay, they all survive. Anyway, in military, another application is propulsion. I think all US carriers use nuclear propulsion because their time in the sea is half a year two. I mean, they don't have to refuel. It's tremendous power. And submarines, of course. What is in terms of environment? I just wanted to mention the beauty of nuclear power is that it doesn't release anything if everything goes as designed. What it does is just the only thing which goes into the atmosphere from operating reactor is heat. So basically, the efficiency of a reactor is about 30%. So if you have 1,000 megawatt reactor, you realize that that 30% of the power released in the core is utilized. The rest goes as heat into the atmosphere, which is so very radically different from oil plants, from coal plants, which push out a lot of garbage plus CO2. So which is the concern of in terms of global warming. So it's great. So there are a bunch of programs trying to prevent proliferation. They actually, I split into three categories. The first category is material protection, which is we're protecting from materials. Second is prevent proliferation of expertise. And the third is international agreements on monitoring. What is curious, at the beginning, when Soviet Union fell apart in 1991, there was discussion how to proceed. What do we try to prevent? Proliferation of expertise or proliferation of nuclear materials. At the beginning, people thought, wow, we have to make sure that the unemployed scientists from Russia would not take $100,000 and go to Iran or to Iraq or whatever and sell their expertise in making the bomb. But then people realized that this may not be the most efficient way because you cannot prevent leaks of intelligence information. What you can do, on the other hand, you could prevent leaks of materials. Materials are much more easy to trace and what. So, so these two programs, which were run by US DOE, were focused on employing scientists and trying to prevent them from selling their expertise. This program, the first program, is focused on materials. I was involved in this program until now, and it proved very effective. Monitoring, surveillance is a very interesting thing. Before, people thought you put a fence around your facility and you're safe. If you put it deep into the woods, like in Russia, they put many facilities in the Siberia area, in Europe, and they thought, okay, fine, we just prevent planes to go around and we're safe. Not anymore. So the entire Earth is open, thanks to Google and everybody around. So this is a picture I think I took it was 5-10 years ago. It was the Iranian reactor, which was built by the Russians. So you should see everything on the surface. In terms of the facilities which they have now in enrichment, they hide it under the ground. But at the same time, there are fingerprints of a facility like that. Again, this is my view, how I would read it. You realize that when you have tens of thousands of centrifuges spinning in one location, it requires a lot of electricity. So in order to see where the facility is, you just trace the flow of electricity. There are techniques, I'm not involved in it, but I realize that there are techniques which allow people to trace the power lines, which means you could know where the power line ends, and that's the point of interest. Now, So if I was thinking, okay, when do they operate, when they are shut down, I would see whether the electricity is flowing in. If it is flowing in, centrifuges are spinning, it's a good time to shake the ground. Okay. It's, here I just was thinking about mutual relations between different countries, and I use the tripod as an illustration. Equality is a very important part of mutual discussion of safety and in general. There are three components: respect, strength, and trust. Respect and trust should be mutual, so between two countries, for example. Strength is a different thing. In strength, you have to be unilateral. You have to develop as much strength as possible, because this is a huge negotiating point. At the same time, the stability will be when everything is more or less equal. Like we in Europe, we are practically symmetric mutual trust and respect and strength. So there is no problem between us. But if you overdo one or underdo one of the components, you get an unstable situation. And here we come to the role of U.S. and stability. I think that you will talk about it later. And here I was going to repeat the first slide. This is coming to leave you with the idea of balanced use of nuclear materials. It's plus and it's minus. And the final thoughts. Probably people think about this issue. Question maybe to you: what do you think? What is the nuclear weapon? Is it a set or it is vulnerability? Normally, why Korea? While all these countries are like shaking, oh, I want to have a weapon, because they think that will give them power, negotiating power. It's a power chip. To me, it's a huge liability. I read it as a liability, first of all, economical, because development of nuclear weapons is a huge enterprise which sucks out a lot of resources. Second, it's not only that. To maintain a nuclear weapon requires also a lot of resources. And also safety. I was at least at the beginning very curious about the term safety of nuclear weapons. It didn't occur to me that there should be an issue. But to guarantee the safety of a nuclear weapon it requires a lot of research and technology. So, and then again, progression of nuclear weapon development. We start with uranium nukes. That's where Iran is I think, at this point. That's there at the first stage. And my sense that from what I hear from the press is that they are somewhere here already. They are preparing a nuclear reactor which would allow them to produce plutonium. And that's practically this is a very critical point, because uranium nukes, I couldn't call it a toy, but it is not a devastating device. It will show that yes, we have technology, but it will not say that we have a war capabilities. Plutonium is much more powerful. And then once you have plutonium, the next step would be even shorter, because to produce tritium, it's not that complex. It's only ability to combine all three components: uranium, plutonium, and tritium into one device, and you got 60 megatons. So at this point, I guess Gil will take over.
All right.